Hello friends. In this video, Movie in 10 Minute will introduce to you a movie with a dramatic story, simple story and horror part to spice up the weekend. I'm talking about Bird Box because this is version 2 of A Quiet Place movie. The film marks the return of veteran actress Sandra Bullock. Bird Box contains many profound messages about the world of the visually impaired. When watching movies, you will not be startled by cheap jump scares. All fear and despair are exploited by the fear hidden deep in each person's soul. Opening the movie with the movie protagonist Mallory wakes up in a forest with a blindfold. She is trying to find her son. The video throws the viewer into an oppressive space, not showing the character outside the room. Next is the segment Mallory is taking prenatal check with Jessica back to the past 5 years earlier when Mallory had not given birth to her first son. Everything went well when she walked out of the clinic and saw a girl trying to kill herself, banging her. Mallory and Jessica panicked running out of the hospital. Suddenly a series of events happened around in front of the pregnant girl's eyes. Mallory's sister Jessica has also changed, as she is looking ahead and her eyes begin to show signs of change. Jessica tried to rush forward, making Mallory panic, pulling the steering wheel to calm Jessica, before the car rushed forward and there was an accident. The movie's trailer also wanted to emphasize that the film characters are not allowed to open their eyes even in any case. Since the indoor glass windows must also be covered by cloth and newspaper, not to let a ray of light enter the house, the whole vehicle used to move must again try to protect and run out to the street with detection sensors. Obstacles. Talking about here makes us think of the movie The Others played by female star Nicole Kidman. The Others also do not give the viewer a bright feeling. One by one, each character must be crouched into the darkness, making the space confusing and dark for viewers, but today a separate video to talk about the movie The Other later. If you want me to review, please leave a comment below. Coming back to Bird Box, the Netflix product always keeps me looking forward, and after watching the trailer with the movie's resemblance to A Quiet Place and The Other, there's no reason we don't spend an hour and 45 minutes to enjoy this movie. Now I start to go into the film according to my subjective opinion. If you have not seen it, please turn off the video and enjoy, because there will be spoil there. At first, my feeling after watching the movie was empty, not very good. Bird Box is not a bad movie. What the movie did should have been elaborated to be more memorable. The film concept is bold and exciting, but Bird Box classifies itself in the stereotypical horror movie. The film opens with a scene where Mallory tells her 2 young children that the blindfold is not removed no matter what happens. She calls her son a boy, and her daughter a girl. They drifted on a river without knowing where to sail. Next to the story about 5 years ago, news on TV that people became crazier than ever before. The authorities have yet to investigate the cause. They only knew that before death, the mental condition of the victim was very panic. Director will bring the Bird Box audience into the chaos caused by the Mallory and sister Jessica caused. Jessica is Mallory's only relative, and at present, she has let the container stab her with her eyes directed at Mallory as a plea. Panicked Mallory was rescued in a nearby house. An unknown character died trying to save Mallory. That ill-fated woman is Douglas's wife, a grudge created from the very first minutes of the film. 3 days later, Tom sent a pregnant girl like Mallory into the house. Her name was Olympia, a group of people to cram into an unfamiliar place. At first, showing hospitality, but in turn, the child in the person caused conflicts to arise to try to survive. However, the members of the movie were blurred out. Initially, when host Greg attempted to use a camera to observe the outside of the house and be controlled by a computer screen, it can be said that the director intended to let the audience know the net nothing to do with sight is dominant. Next is that Charlie saved the team while searching for food at the supermarket by stopping Charlie's tall friend's intrusion in the supermarket. Meanwhile, Douglas held a giant shotgun standing by the door. So why did Douglas not fire a shot but had to wait for Charlie to act? This episode of the movie is also the time that highlights the Bird Box movie, when the birds are detectives when they can identify evil spirits around. birds flying around, unsteadily, far in the cage. There is another detail: outside there are people who can resist this evil spirit. They are crazy people, nothing makes them afraid, suffering so much that they have to seek death to liberate. These individuals she attached make others open their eyes and enjoy the most beautiful things they are seeing. These crazy guys go around, knock on the door, come to your house and want you to enjoy the beauty of death. Here is Charlie's tall friend. Bird Box turns those crazy people into brainless zombies. In the eyes of human disdain in society, the mentally ill person is like the devil's embodiment. That grim world has pushed innocent people into the abyss, turned their backs, and denied. Lucy and Felix followed it after the superficially made love scene in the kitchen took off their clothes with everyone's only car. They are not leaving a deep impression in the film besides the hot, disruptive way of youth. The director's compassion was worn to the audience when over and over again, the people in the house invited unknown people into a safe place. Starting with, Tom opened the door for the tall guy, making Charlie die at the supermarket. And the climax is that Olympia has automatically extended the door for a new friend. Gary is the last. Also, the guy who wrote up the explanation for an hour more of the movie. Gary is a crazy, smart guy, making a script to create a trust for the team members, making them accept Gary most convincingly, and in this situation who is most hate from the beginning of the movie. Is a guy Douglas locked in the garage when showing an attitude of opposition, when not allowing Gary in the house. The film continues with the scene where Olympia and Mallory are in labor giving birth to the baby upstairs. Gary opens a series of pictures on the table. On the paper, is a grim face, has no fixed shape. Through the paintings, the audience can imagine the dark and crazy world created by director Suzanne Bier. Monsters appear from hell, invisible. The audience must be characters to see. Gary caused everyone to witness these horrifying scenes. Opening with Olympia, then with Cheryl. Finally, Mallory and babies. Luckily, Douglas escaped from the garage, went upstairs and used a gun to shoot Gary, but in the state of not seeing anything, Douglas was pushed down by Gary to the ground floor and killed with a knife. Finally, Gary was shot dead by Tom. They were ending the segment about the past where only Tom, Mallory and 2 children survived. The name of Mallory's son is Boy, Olympia's daughter is named Girl. A few years after 4 members of the family hid and lived in the dark long enough. The group of crazy peep the family. Tom must sacrifice his eyes open to shoot dead those crazy. Before the incident, Tom received a radio call from a group of people at the end of the river, who said, there was a community of people, enough food and people to fight the Great War. That is also the reason why in the opening scene of the movie, Mallory and her 2 children have to sit on a boat running up the river to drift to a place unknown. There is only one identifier there are many birds, and the ending of the movie does not disappoint me with great human significance. The leading destination is the school for the blind. The collective of people here is blind from birth and accident. They live in the dark long enough to handle any situation without sight. They live a happy, beautiful life that does not kill each other like the life out there, and the meaning conveyed through the Bird Box expresses the feeling of the unlucky blind who lose their sight. They rely on the sense left to beat life, which is also the element that salvages the whole story. Need an entertaining film that is not too heavy and stressful. In the movie, there is no appearance of a jump scare that startles you. Each segment is displayed favorably for visual conditions, making the movies not challenging to reach viewers and creating tension. Straight is the order. If put on the scale, the world of Bird Box is more frightening than the world of A Quiet Place. The things seen ahead will be gone. The audience will not know where the character has to run to escape. The movie does a great job of refreshing its ideas in the horror genre, where the horror scripts that go into trails like The Devil, The Haunted House or The Exorcist are losing their interest. How many points do you give Bird Box, and if you want movie in 10-minute review which movie, please leave a comment below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hi everyone, thank you for watching video. If you feel video is great, like and share it please. And don't forget to subscribe channel for the last video. Thank you and see you in the next video.